If you don't know, you're about to know right now. You're about to learn. Education. You feel me then? I'm Quindell Evans, bluepoetry.com. And this is my brother right here, Mike, aka Mike Henny. Feel me? Always got the Henny in the cup. Always.
You got the lemongrass at this situation, but yeah.
Nah, but this brother right here, I mean, I could let him introduce himself, but before he introduces himself, I want to say a few things about him. You know, he's a really, he's a philanthropist, you know, a guy who's very service-oriented, you know, so I'm pretty proud to be here with him right now on the Blue Poetry Podcast, you know, just sharing the same space with him and we get to talk about some of the things we both do. This guy is a philanthropist. He does literally dozens of projects to help out his community, help out the people in his life, help out people that he just meet, and when you meet him, you feel like your family. He does a lot for the youth. He does a lot for adults. He does a lot for families who are in need. He does a lot for New York City in general, a lot for artists who's coming up and need a space to enhance their art, you know, to work on their art. You know, I told him I was working on music and I'm always writing but I don't record. He like, yo, I got a mic, I got Logic, and I know engineers and I got a space. He's that type of guy. You know, so this is a guy who I respect highly, you feel me? I would never disrespect him, you know, in any type of way intentionally, you know. So I'm proud to have you right here, have this conversation right now. We're inside the White Pine Community Truck, the bus. And the White Pine Community Farm is one of the farms that he works with, you know. He's a very service-oriented guy, so he's helping the guy out expand his business, his farming business. He's helping him expand his farming business by allowing him to, you know, work with people who don't know about farming and don't know about how to grow farms and even know how, and also, I mean, how to grow plants and vegetables on farm, but also how to utilize these herbs. You know, if you don't know how to make tinctures and even how to, you know, make the right teas and stuff like that, this guy right here is very well rounded, and he's a part of that community right there. He's a part of, this is just one of the communities he's a part of. So if you would like to, you know, share something about yourself.
Yeah, like he said, I want to give a quick shout out to all the artists and all the hungry individuals that I meet, such as Quindell here, who has like created a poetry game and is like being very innovative in this culture. Like without people like you guys, like him, what I do wouldn't be so easy, because you guys are major key players in me trying to change the community, because you guys are from these communities and you shining. So yeah, I'm out here, been working for the last 5 years to provide opportunities for myself. Once I got the opportunities for myself, I realized that God is great, the universe is very great, and I've got so much blessings and I got so much spaces, you know, and it was a matter of, am I just gonna keep trying to jump around and utilize all these spaces, or keep it to myself, which would have been impossible because I'm one person, or was I gonna utilize the same way I know I have a lot of spaces, I know a lot of people, I'm meeting a lot of great people, so just working on like a whole 2 years trying to figure out how to mix and match individuals with the spaces and the spaces with the individuals, and just stepping back, every connection step back further and further until it's rotating by itself, and then using those connections to plug in other ones that are in the current state of energy too.
All right, so you have your own organization, and I know I've been at the community center. It's more than a community center, but we can call it a community center, that you pretty much were the supervisor, the director for the summer youth program there this summer. And that organization that you founded, Help Ourselves NYC.
Yeah.
Can you tell us when you started it? What was your inspiration behind it, and how is it going? You know.
Well, I officially started Help Ourselves last year, but the idea came to me during Occupy Wall Street. The year after it was raided and depleted, So what happened was a lot of kids from like all over America, from foster care, from shelter system, runaways, orphans mostly. I mean, they were all gravitated towards Occupy Wall Street because there was 100,000 plus people sleeping out in the streets and fighting for several different things that no matter who you were, you'll find some type of something that you wanted to fight for. What's your opinion for years? So after it fell down. All these orphans and kids, they stuck together as a family, and me interacting with them a lot during Occupy Wall Street, being from around the same age. Of them, like I was only like a year older, 2 years max in some cases, and seeing how they stuck to the family and seeing that they still needed to function. You know, these kids weren't so much able to go out and find food or able to feel comfortable to go into somewhere to get help at. And I just like added two and two together, being able to be blessed to be connected to be able to connect with a lot of people. When Occupy, I connected with a food group, Food Not Bombs, and I learned from them how they went out and got food every night. So then I felt it upon myself that these group of 20 plus kids that couldn't find food anymore but always stuck together and weren't able to go out and find the food. Like I reached out to the restaurants, I got the food. I grabbed a couple of the kids with me to come get the food, so then I stayed up my own system for them to initially help themselves. A lot of the youth had dogma of going to hospitals because they would believe that the hospitals just thought they were homeless or they didn't think they were good enough to get help to be in society. I simply once or twice went with a few of them, went to the hospital and stood the ground and just said, help this person is sick. They saw that, and initially I wanted to teach them how to help themselves. So they learned how to go to the hospital by themselves, and they learned how to teach others to help themselves.
So that was when the idea was born?
Yeah.
And what year was this?
This was like
So Occupy Wall Street,
2011, by 2012. Like entering 2013, the official idea was born.
This is almost 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
When the idea was born.
Yeah.
Or 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
When the idea was born, and like anything, once the seed is planted, it takes a little while for it to grow.
Yeah.
Once it takes 9 months for a baby to be born, so
Yeah.
it took a while for you to actually launch it. But in between the time where you launched, in between the time where the idea was born and the time when you launched Help Ourselves NYC, you was already Help Ourselves NYC. You was already doing all the groundwork before you even had the name behind it. So, and some of this was working with orphans and people who couldn't help themselves.
Yeah. You don't even realize like once you put the idea out that you get thrown into it. So I was doing all these things that when it started to become more reality, I had forgotten all these things I was asking for because I constantly would write them out, I would mind map them up. Even the same thing over and over, like I want to provide art supplies, I want to provide spaces. All this to combat issues that I saw within these youth that made them maintain homeless. Like if they had opportunities to do art supplies, they wouldn't be doing drinking or drugs. In certain situations, I'm not speaking broadly. From what I saw, I figured that out, and I would write this down. Being in the field and seeing how kids would get pulled into things, what I could provide to allow them not to go into, like how I could provide hope.
That's a beautiful thing because like somebody like me, I'm a thinker. Like I like to think about ideas. Can you pass me my honey?
Yeah.
This is that nettle root right here. So or nettle tea. I thought it was a root. It's an herb.
Yeah, it's an herb.
It might maybe
it's the strongest green herb
people use
in the
the
United
root
States
as well.
I mean,
the root of the plant. People use it too because I heard of the nettle root.
They probably do. I mean, they use every root. I mean, natural herbs for like our
they use the whole plant.
Everybody always for centuries.
But all I was saying was it's a beautiful thing that you thought about helping out communities, knowing, and it's funny, the name is called Help Ourselves, helping our community, knowing that you probably was going through things you needed help through at the time, You probably was struggling in your own personal life as well. I would love to hear about how you struggle because, the things that was going on in your life while you're helping out other people. I would love to hear more about that, but what I would like to say is like, I'm a thinker. Like I've had ideas all the time about, if I could help homeless, I'll do this. And I think of this cool event that could go down and how we could have showers and food and entertainment for the homeless and help them and help put them in touch with doctors and therapists and psychiatrists and all this stuff, and we could change homelessness, we could end it. You know, I have those type of ideas.
Yeah.
But then in the same aspect, I be thinking like, well, I'm actually like, I'm broke.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I ain't got enough money. I might not be broke, but I don't got enough money to do that. I don't know the people, or I don't have this, and I don't, you know, just being human, you know, we get to, you know, we think about the things we don't have that can stop us from doing the big ideas we want to do. But it impresses me that you didn't think about none of that. You didn't say, I'm not a rich, wealthy, you know, man, you know, or you might have felt that. You might have felt like I'm rich and wealthy, but you know, you economically or financially, I don't have everything that I want, but I still want to help certain people. So like, it impresses me that you put aside your personal issues or your personal life to like go full-fledged and help out people who need help in so many different ways. So like, I would love to hear, you know, because, you know, I think people need to, I don't, me personally, I want to know, like, you know, it would definitely inspire me to hear about the certain personal struggles, if you're comfortable talking about them, that you were going through when you began Help Ourselves New York City, way before it was called that last year. Or the things that you were going through, but you put aside because you knew that it was bigger than you type vibe. You know, so what are some challenges you were facing, whether it was like family issues, you know, money, whatever it was?
Some of the main challenges that, or the main challenge that I was facing, and I'm still facing on a very low margin now, was dealing with the emotional traumas that I had. So, which was like a good for having, manifesting, and chasing my dreams, but was a bad for people that were connecting with me, and maybe we're looking for somewhat more of a bond, and as we all should, especially. And I understand, like, seeing somebody like me when I open up, people say, "Oh, you're very genuine, you're very real, or you're very inspiring." You want to be that person's friend. You want to like consider that person like, yo, this is my best. Like, maybe you remember your best friend or a brother, but understanding that I didn't have time for that, because like I sacrificed that already to chase or to accomplish some of the things that I set out to do during Help Ourselves. So a lot of bad relationships, I would say, like across the board, was one of the biggest struggles that I couldn't always necessarily sit down and like think about it or analyze it, because I was already in motion, but I understood it, and there's a cause and effect, and that was always hard, because it's always like kind of like leaving people behind, not saying behind like they're behind me, but like myself, as leaving like great potential relationships or connections behind, for the sake of promises. You know, like the more I had this vision, the more I spoke about it, the more I met people that I could initially help with this vision, and the more that I would like tell them like, don't give up because I'm doing this. You know, like don't like come here, trust me to come here, come to this location, come to this organization that gives out free food on Mondays. Like, please come here. And the more I did that, like the more bondages that I felt like I had to upkeep to keep people that I wanted to eventually help and have help themselves alive, and not go under, and like not just die like physically, but the fear of having a lot of these youth end up in mental instability, institutions. You know, the fear of having them overdose, the fear of them having them work for other youth, that people that used to be youth in these same streets that have become older and now more trying to be more like they're trying to survive, and they use these same people that they recognize not to do always the best thing. So like relationships was like the most one of it. Money never really was one, because like I've always been an activist, and I've always been like able to get money. So I was also like kind of against it. So I never really ever even have that like as an issue for me when I'm not doing it, because if you really believe or your intentions are great, like the money is an asset in this program, and you're always gonna get it. One way or another, you'll find somebody to help you out, as long as you're open and willing to accept it. And so that's my philosophy on that. So yeah, relationships, I would say, especially also with women, like that's not funny also, because women love and women help a lot, and they make you mentally stable and emotionally stable, and they sometimes push you more than you push yourself. They believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and they do so much for you, and not being able to fully like give them that love back, once again, because of these promises and that I felt like I had to accomplish and be able to provide these resources, because I connected and I gave hope to so much that was like hopeless and been through so much and been used wrong and been lied to and yeah.
Right. So you said that like the relationships, like you're saying like relationships is one of the struggles, the challenges that you were facing then, and it's still kind of facing now, or like you have reflected on these. It sounds like you reflected on these past few years, and you're getting better, but you still know you have work to do because the vision ain't changed.
Yeah.
I know that you're like still. I'm assuming that you may have not burned the bridges though. You said like I had to leave. I had to leave them behind. But these people that you quote unquote have left behind, are the bridges totally burnt? Like you can't communicate with them in a positive way, or it's just like it's not necessarily burnt, but it has fulfilled its purpose in a way. Like if we go back, if I was to communicate with these people that I left behind, I still can communicate with them, but it'll just be at a certain limit. Like like we still have a good relationship, or are these like relationships that's broken in a way?
I mean, they're broken as far as like these people will never, I believe, will open up to me again as when they originally first met me, and they wanted, like they assumed that was the connection that was supposed to be made, as it should have been, but. I do believe that walking on my path, that everybody that I meet is all connected. Like all the roads connect either way to that bridge. So it's never like I still provide help for them. I still see what they're doing. I still connect them with other people. I just don't particularly put my name behind it or say that it's me. Just because I know that it was an emotional effect that I had on these people. Because they did so much for me as I was doing for them, and it just took me. And so it's like I don't think that I'll be able ever to like communicate with them and be like, this is what has happened, or we're still at that level of friendship, because of it was like pulled in and then pushed away,
Okay. So it sounds like there's still a lot of healing that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I think personally, I might have similar issues where it's like, straight work, straight work. But sometimes we want that like relationship with a female, but then at the same time we don't want to fully commit because we know fully committing, might be sort of a distraction.
Yeah.
Or, fully committing, we might have to open up to who we really are, and we're really just 100% workaholics, and they might want some of that time and attention, and want to take us away from what we feel we're called to do. So we kind of want a relationship, but we want someone who like knows that we're like not all the way committed, which is kind of like a contradiction.
I always want a relationship. As a man, like I always want a woman's love. Like it's never a bad time for a woman's love ever.
But I think it's a balance. I think personally we could find that balance. And also there's powerful couples that work together, and that's what I think someone like you might need. You might need someone who's out there with you, so that they know that you're not working, and your work is taking time from the relationship. If y'all have similar mission and similar vision, then y'all can work together, and now all your time is all their time, and then y'all understand the meaning of space more.
Right.
So like, hopefully you find that person for you, or if you have someone in your life, then y'all could cultivate that relationship that allows y'all to work together on, on something, so that there's no battle between like work and love. Right. I feel like a lot of us, have relationship issues, but I feel like this is one that might be a little more manageable than other relationships, relationship issues, because this is like, they say like, the bigger your dreams is, you have different problems, like if you're, when you're like not dreaming big, you might have a problem you might have different problems. Somebody might have problems cheating, or somebody might have problems just jealousy, but like if you have someone you love, but it's just like, I don't know how to balance work and relationship, I'd rather have that problem compared to having a problem with somebody lying and cheating and stuff like that. You know, so like this is an adult problem. You know, more mature problem that you know that we can be men about or women about. If there's women who feel like they men might be distracting from work or whatever it is. So like this is a different problem that I feel like is more respectable. I respect somebody who's having these type of problems in a relationship compared to like you got to worry about. You know, somebody going out and doing things behind your back. So this is I respect you for opening up about that. So real quick, you know, as you know, I got Pick Up Poetry, the educational playing card game. I donated a few packs to help ourselves.
This summer was a great things for kids to constantly use. I've had about 15 kids youth. So every Friday will be game night. This will be predominantly the game that they'll start playing as soon as Quindell had come through. Donated several packs. Trying to get them into more into after school program. Trying to get them to the NYU Board of Ed. It's a personal mission that I set for myself because once again, it was effective of help ourselves, and I want to help ourselves to be integrated in as much things as possible. And that's where we're at this time.
Yeah, I'm working on you know, by the end of the year latest. You know, I really want to get it by December. The official cards in the box.
The case.
Yeah, with the barcode and everything on it. I'm right there. Like I'm right there. It's possible that I could have it by the end of this month. It's really possible. So like, just wish me luck. The end of November. You also know about the mouth book, Messages of Uplift the Hill.
Yes.
You feel me? So right now I'm working on kind of like a mouth book too. But it's not gonna be called the mouth book. I don't want to release the title just yet. But like I don't care. I will. So because it's okay. It's gonna be called the Drugs book. The Drugs book. You know, it's MOUTH, Message of Uplift the Hill. Yeah. It's gonna be DRUGS, and it's gonna have its own acronym. And I believe it's something like discipline is your responsibility. Understanding that life is about growth, which breeds success. You feel me? So discipline that's the D. Is your responsibility. That's the R. Understanding is the U. That life is about growth is the G, which breeds success, which is the F. The Drugs book. So that's coming sooner than later. You feel me? Like, so the Drugs book. Look out for that. And this right here, the Blue Poetry Handbook. You feel me? So the Blue Poetry Handbook, the copy came in the mail today. This is like the first draft. The second draft of the book came, and I added like a whole new chapter, another like 50, 60 pages of the Blue Poetry Handbook. Now this is something that it complements the card game. Because as you can see, the first chapter is the Pick Up Poetry games. You feel me? So this is the directions to play the game we know how to play. This is directions for another game for younger kids who may not know how to read, but they know numbers. Because the cards have 1, 2, 3. The official cards have 1 through 9 on them. It's another direction, you know. So there's literally
play multiple games
with the same cards. You feel me? And then there's a chapter for each element. You know, a metaphor chapter. When it has activities in it. It's raining cats and dogs. Like, you feel me? So like, shout out to Misa Renee who did the artwork for this. So there's different activities that teaches you how to do metaphor. There's different activities that teach you how to do simile.
Oh, no. This is not released yet?
Nah, not officially. Nah, because I'm working
like the bright sun simile.
So it's coming soon, you know, and
with
then it's a
visuals. Simile with visuals, man. Information with visuals is more registration with the youth,
right.
Bro.
And then there's music too. We also have a song for each element. There's a Pick-Up Poetry song, the metaphor song. So the lyrics is in the book, and then it's also on iTunes too. So you could just go. There's a Blue Poetry Handbook album on iTunes.
Wow.
So you get the book, you get the card game, you get the you go on iTunes, and you got a whole trifecta: the book, the game, and the music.
Wow.
You know, and the drawings. You and then there's activities. You know, there's activities, there's crossword puzzles and fill in the blanks, multiple choice and challenges, and for each chapter. So like, this is what you're talking about, like with the schools. I'll get it in schools. So this is how we want. This is the package we want the schools to get. We want the schools to get the whole package: the music, the book, and the games, and then the kids can learn to have fun at the same time.
Wow.
You feel me? So like, I definitely happy to show you this. You feel me? You're the perfect guy. I want to show you this when it's all done, and you can help me. You know what I'm saying? Get this out there. I'm
getting ideas already, bro.
Okay. And it's also this is the Drop and Give Me Fitness playing card game. It's like an exercise card game, similar to pickup poetry. Same rules, but you exercise. Instead of asking for a metaphor, you ask for a push-up. You give it to me, you do push-ups. You know, if you don't got it, I'll do push-ups because I asked you and what was wrong. So it's similar. Same rules, but instead it's working out. So if you know how to play pickup poetry, you know how to play Drop and Give Me Fitness. Pick up poetry, drop, and give me fitness. So it's like two different games. The directions and everything is in the book too.
This is exercise like outside, not needing a gym.
This is so that you can exercise wherever you at. You know, like that makes it so that you can exercise anywhere. If you want to wake up and you ain't got time to go to the gym, you ain't got time to change the clothes and go to the gym, you could just get up, pick up the deck of cards, and work out by yourself. There's a way you can play it by yourself, and there's a way you can play it with people and have fun. You know, so there's two different ways. And the last thing I want to show you, I don't know if you heard about the health tea cigarettes. You know, you heard about the health tea cigarettes?
Quindell Evans, bro. So I haven't.
The health tea cigarettes, you know, I mean, we know smoking is not the best thing to do, but people smoke. So I call it the health tea cigarettes. It is illegal to say that.
It's a cigarette.
To say, we can talk about that another time. But it's illegal to say in New York City that smoking, period, is healthy. Like, you can't say that. Like, I can't promote that this is healthy, that this is a healthy alternative to cigarettes. It's illegal for me to do that.
One thing, but the cigarettes, the same people that say that about cigarettes is the same cigarette companies. They were forced to do that. Truth is ran by a cigarette company.
Right. So it's illegal for me to tell you that this is healthier than tobacco cigarettes. But personally, we know that nicotine and the chlorine and all the stuff they put in the cigarettes is not healthy. This is an alternative. This is a simple alternative to cigarettes. Instead of tobacco in here, it's chamomile, marshmallow leaf, mugwort, mullein, and spearmint. So I took herbs, 5 different herbs. Chamomile is good for the nerves, relaxing the nerves, so it's good for you. Marshmallow leaf literally kills mucus. Mugwort, good for the memory, good for the brain. Mullein increases your lung capacity, and spearmint is good for the throat. So like, this is an all-around, like, more effective way of smoking. You're smoking things that are actually better for you, you know? So
how much do you retail for?
I sell it packs for $10, 15 cigarettes in a pack. For me, you could try one. I'll give you one. You feel me?
You have a lighter?
I don't have a lighter. So you don't have a lighter?
No, hold me. I want to try one right now on camera.
That'd have been a lit.
Oh, look at this.
You feel me? Smell that?
Like
It smells so good. It is
just like a cigarette.
It is. It's a cigarette tube, and I bought the herbs and just stuffed it in there. So like,
whoa.
Smell like that? Smell like
like
so
some
good.
Upgraded menthol.
Cause there's spearmint in there. That spearmint's what you smelling. So you know you can smoke that in your own time. You ain't got a lighter, and you can just text me your feedback. You feel me? So I know how you feel. Most people say they felt the calm, relaxing vibe. You know, they felt literally they was breathing better. You know, like they have good feedback on it. There's no psychoactive effect. It ain't no high. It ain't no like munchy. It ain't nothing like weed. It's just simple. It's simple, just a relaxation thing, you feel me? So it's an alternative to cigarettes because we know so many people who suffered from smoking tobacco cigarettes.
Yeah.
So this is a smoking responsible type of vibe, you know? So I wanted to show you the things I was working on.
Wow.
You feel me? And I appreciate you for popping out to the Blue Poetry podcast. You know, the people, whoever's watching, like, You know, can you tell them how to find you if they want to work with you, if they want to connect with you, if they just want to follow you and see what's up with you?
Mike Henny 181 at Instagram.com, Mike Henny 181, and more gardens, Michael at gmail.com. If you want to speak about any art supplies, spaces, recording music, and volunteering your time, donating clothing, donating food, canned goods, hit up more gardens, Michael at gmail.com.
What's that, bro? I appreciate you. Give me some love.
All day, man.
All right.